Welcome back, everybody, to Freaky Tales Podcast, and I'm your host, Tony A. the Wizard. And before I introduce my special guest, who needs no introduction, because many of you already know who he is no stranger to my other podcast, but this is his first time here. But I do want to apologize for last week that I had to cancel Freaky Tales. I truly wish that I can do this every Friday, but many times when things come up and your schedule does not allow you, you're forced to reschedule Freaky Tales. And many times I have people that actually cancel the day of. So if I can't get someone else, I'm just not going to sit here by myself and entertain you guys. So other than that, I want to thank everybody who's tuned in, everybody who's in the live chat, everybody who turns off the live chat, everybody who's hit the like button, everybody who's hit the dislike button. It doesn't matter. You guys are still here. And we want to thank you to this Freaky Friday with none other than my special guest, MISFIT SOTO. How you doing today?
Yo, what's up, man?
First of all, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
And I know that me and you, last time we were here on my other podcast, that, by the way, those are fireworks.
I know.
So, yeah, haunted fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're going to be talking about some creepy stuff.
And it's like, whoa.
You know, a lot of people are probably wondering, like, why are you here? What a lot of people may not know is that you have a lot of experience or have experienced a lot of paranormal things, you know, in your life. And I remember you had mentioned it to me. Whenever you get an opportunity, I want to come on Freaky Tales because there's a lot of things that I want to share.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. And we actually made a list of certain things that we're going to touch on. So we're going to be jumping around from time to time. And eventually, after our intermission break, we'll get into some live phone calls. But let me go to my list that we made of what we were going to be talking about. And that list is right over here. And one of the things that you mentioned to me, it was either haunted houses or hauntings. And like I said, we discussed 5 to 6 different topics. So what was it that you wanted to talk about, or what is it that you have experienced, either with a haunted house or hauntings?
Man, well, I believe I was about around 11, 12 years old. We moved, you know, my mom and dad like rented out a house, and it was in City of Lawndale off of 161st Street in Fremona, and the house was pretty fucking haunted, bro. Like,
really?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy, you know.
So even as a young kid, you knew that there was something going on there that just wasn't normal.
Yeah. I mean, first off, like, I mean, the house gave me an eerie feeling altogether, just the way that everything was kind of like set up. You know, at first you walk straight in, and then immediately to the left is like a long hallway, and then the master bedroom, and then like you just walk straight in, it's just a big ass open space, and then you got another little hallway and 2 rooms, you know what I'm saying? And then the perimeter was like, it was like a wooden gate with big ass eucalyptus trees like all over the place, you know what I'm saying? So it was dark, no sun would like hit the house ever, you know?
Right.
And it just felt weird. And my brothers, because say I was like 11, my brother was like 21, my oldest brother was 21, my other brother was like 15, 16. So, we all lived together. My older brother had moved in there, him and his girl had one of the bedrooms, and they had mentioned to my, my younger the middle brother, they had mentioned to him that somebody, like, they hear somebody knocking on the door at night. Okay, so, that always kind of like creeped me out. I mean, I heard him talking about it a couple times. But then, as time, a couple years later, my brother moved out with his girl.
Yeah.
Then this brother moved out.
Okay.
And then my parents had some people renting out one of the rooms, and then I moved into the original room where my brother was at.
Now let me ask you this before you continue your story. I've always been a little leery of renting a room to a total stranger that just walks in, unless they were family members.
They were real good friends of my parents.
Okay.
Yeah,
because not to cut in too much into your story, I've had friends that were somewhat at one point in their life desperate. They couldn't make ends meet, so they rented out a room to this one dude, and come to find out that this guy was into like brujeria.
Oh yeah,
and he was doing. Crazy. They noticed a change, but we'll get to that. But go ahead.
Yeah, no. These were friends of my parents. You know, knew really well. So, so I ended up moving into one of the rooms, and it's crazy because like, it took about maybe 2.5 weeks for anything to happen to pop off. You know, so first thing I heard was about 4 a.m. Boom, 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 like knocking at my door.
Wow. And
I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, who is that? You know, like, thinking it's my mom or something. And I'm just yelling, like, who's, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody answers. And it just knocks, boom, boom. Nothing. Okay. I'm like, whatever. I try to ignore it. Another 2-3 weeks go by. I swear to God, Tony, I'm like laying down, sleeping. And like, I just, all of a sudden, I feel my blanket get yanked off of me. Like the whole fucking blanket got yanked off of me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, what the hell, like I woke up and my blanket was on the floor, you know what I'm saying? But I can remember feeling that tug, like, and then so that was another experience.
So this was going on throughout the whole time that you were living in this home?
Living at the house.
Okay, and you guys are not there no more, obviously.
No, we're not there.
Okay, one thing that I've always encouraged people to look into the history of the home. The reason why many people don't want to, if you will, rock the boat when they move into either a condo, apartment, or a home, is because they're barely making it, and they found a home, so they're happy, so they don't want to rock the boat and ask the landlord or the owner, what's the history? Right. They just want to move in, but many times it's important, I believe, to find out the history of the home, because you don't know who could have lived there. You don't know what could have gone on. Can you imagine you asking, and then they have to tell you 2 people were murdered here?
Yeah, I'll tell you something about that right now.
Okay.
So anyways, and then I was so then a couple days, but just those little things that were happening in that room, And then I had a best friend at the time. I was about 14 years old, middle school. And like my homie, he'd come and spend the night, sometimes crash. You know what I'm saying? We'd stay up all night, like playing video games and shit. And I swear one day, because my window was like facing where the back wall is, like the fence and the eucalyptus trees, right? And you can't see nothing because it's a bunch of fucking trees.
Right.
And I swear he told me one time, it was weird. He's like, hey, dude, he's like, I seen some big ass bright lights shining into your window.
Really?
And I was like, shut up, fool. He's like, yeah, fool, last night he's like, just a light from the sky. Like, I was like, a fucking helicopter or what? He's like, I couldn't hear nothing. There was nothing. There was no noise. It was just a light. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, fool. Like, yeah, but his name's Jonathan Woken. And I still remember the story he told me. He said, he woke up around 3:34 in the morning. I was knocked out, and he said that the light shined in his face and that it woke him up. Wow. It was that bright.
Wow. I've never experienced anything like that, but I have experienced blankets being yanked off of me. And at times, which I believe, I can't prove it, but I could only share my experience, that, many times you tend to cover yourself, your feet hang out of the blankets, and I felt something scratch my foot.
Oh, shit.
Okay? Now, many times, you're just thinking maybe it's one of the kids or whatever. But when you look and there's no one there, now you look at your foot and see if there's a scratch mark. There was nothing there, but I know I didn't make that up from my imagination. No. But there's also been times where, and this wasn't here. This was actually in my childhood home where I grew up at, where blankets, like you said, were being pulled out little by little, not necessarily just yanked off.
Was yanked off.
This one, little by little. It was little by little. So I kept trying to justify it by saying, okay, maybe the blanket's too heavy, because I used to have a lot of blankets on me. I was always a kid that slept with a lot of blankets. Maybe they're too heavy, they fell off to the side. So I started taking off like 2, but it was still doing the same thing. So, those are things that are unexplainable. And I don't necessarily know if it's a haunted house. I know for sure that my garage was haunted. That nobody can talk me out of it. But as far as inside the house, I witnessed little things like that. I witnessed more things in my garage and my childhood home. But since then, I haven't witnessed any of that stuff. So I believe that everything was attached to that home. My next question for you was, since you moved out of that house, did any of that stuff follow you, or was it only there in that home?
I think I don't know if it's the same, energy or whatever.
Yeah.
I've had more experiences after that. Not similar in the way of like having blankets yanked off or anything like that. More, I want to say a little bit more like up close, like more sinister.
Okay.
More, I'm fucking with you, haha. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing.
Okay.
Like it wasn't little things like that, like knocks at the door.
Yeah.
It was more like I'm gonna like fuck your life up. I believe in demons. You know what I'm saying?
Course.
I believe that people have demons, and I just believe that if your faith ain't right, you don't know what you're doing with your life, and you give these negative things power. Consume you.
Before we jump into that, because I do want to touch on that. I had a friend, I want to say it was maybe about 10 or 12 years ago, and he had called me up, and he had told me that he had rented a room out to this one guy. He was really desperate to, earn a little bit more income. Mm-hmm. So he couldn't make ends meet. He had a job, and his girl was living with them, but they were barely making it, so they figured, we'll earn a little bit more income if we rent one of the rooms out. They had a 4-bedroom house. Yeah. So they rented to this one guy, but nobody was really like biting on the ad, so except one guy, and he came. They said he knew he was a little bit off, but he was going to be paying good. Mm-hmm. Only thing he asked was, please just change the lock on my door. Nobody would have the key to that door except me. Said, okay, you have a problem with me paying in my room? No problem. Okay, when I leave, I don't want nobody in my room. Okay, his door, according to my friend, didn't have a handle. It was just a lock with a key. Well, one day, I guess he left. Now, keep in mind, nothing but weird things started happening, like hearing scratch noises on the walls. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily knockings, but on their bedroom door, boom! And they're thinking, what the hell is that? So they get up, they look, and no one's there. He's not even home.
That's crazy.
Okay? So a lot of weird things like that. And many times they had pots that they would hang. He would tell me that they would hang, like whenever they want to use a pot, they'll take it off, the little hook, I guess, and cook with it. Down. All of them fell one time. I was at about 3 o'clock in the morning. So, but they noticed that all of this stuff started happening when he had moved in. So it was just their luck around 6 months after that. And it would smell a weird smell, like
sulfuric.
What I'm about to tell you, I can't make this up. These are his words, So here's what happened. One time he was in a hurry to leave, said he was going to work. Mm-hmm. He closed the door, and instead of just locking it, I guess, he must have turned the key back, pulled the key out and left, that it left the door open. So he never really locked it. He locked it and then unlocked it almost. So they walked by there. They realized that the door moves open.
Okay.
They happened to look. The dude didn't even have a bed in there. He just had a regular, like a lazy boy chair. And he had a pentagram painted on the floor. The entire walls were black and the windows were black, painted black. Okay, and he had a bunch of incense or whatever he was lighting, candles or whatever, all on there. This guy, according to him, was into satanic worship in their home. So many times, may not be a wise idea to let somebody, a total stranger that you do not know, because you do not know what he could be doing in your home, even when you're not home. They said that this guy was so antisocial that they would ask him, come eat dinner with us. No, I'm not eating today. He would say things, I'm not eating today.
That's weird.
You want to go hang out with him? He said, we were just trying to get a chance to know this guy because he's living in our home. Yeah. But when he would come home, he wouldn't even look at us. He just had his head down, open it, close it, and that's it. You would have seen him till the next morning. So they just said they had to tell the guy, you know what? You left your door open. And he got so mad, according to him, that he was going to try to take the homeowners to court because they invaded his privacy. And it was a big mess. It was a big mess. So I encourage you people that are watching and listening, be careful, who you guys let in the home. Maybe you guys are probably sitting down with the guy that's living in your living in your house right now, watching this show. Turn around and look at him and tell him you need to go. But But yeah, okay, now let's talk a little bit about, you touched on it. You said, I believe in demons.
Yeah.
I do too. I believe in angels. Okay. I believe that there is a devil, Satan, Lucifer, Belial, Lord of the Flies, whatever we want to call him, whatever people want to name him. I also believe that there's a God. There are things that are unexplainable. Many times people call them energies, entities, shadow peoples, demons, whatever. Okay. I do believe, and this is just me, okay, people don't necessarily have to believe like I do, that there are people that are demonically possessed and don't even know it.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I believe that demons work as, I mean, there's ranks. I think there's ranks, and you know, some have specific duties,
Right.
you know, specific jobs, you know, like
I believe that.
you know, and you know, some are more powerful than others. But I do believe that there's ranks of demon. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just like the army, like the military. You know,
Just like the military, you know, and I don't necessarily like to quote the Bible because many people think that, oh, you're getting religious on us. No. I read the Bible like a history book. It's full of information, and a lot of people do not know that if you ever want to know what Satan looks like, it's in the scriptures. If you ever want to know what Satan's organs look like, it's in the scriptures. If you ever want to know why Satan was kicked out of heaven, it's in the Bible. Now, whether people want to believe the Bible or not, that's fine. That's up to them. I'm just telling you where I got my info from, and I believe you're entitled to know where I get my info from. And I stand by that. That's what I believe took place. I believe that Satan at one point was kicked out of heaven, brought here with the 30 angels. It never said how many of a third. It never gave us that. So it could be billions and billions or trillions. Okay. You said, I believe that there's ranks. Yes. In heaven, there's cherubims, which are the closest to the throne of God. Then there's seraphims. Then there's archangels. And then there's just regular angels. So there's ranks.
Well, there's rank. I mean, and you know, and then they have their opposites, just like day and night. You know,
Yes.
Everything has its opposite. You know,
Yeah.
its polar opposite or whatever.
I've seen people people call it an exorcism, where these spirits were cast out of them, and they were like day and night, and I could see into their soul in a sense, and I get little nuggets of information. I walk away, I let it play out. Later on, they'll start opening up, and everything that I saw was true.
That's true, right?
But I don't run with it right away because it could have just been, you know, maybe me. Maybe I think it's just me who saw it. But no, and that, I don't want to say that happens to me often, but it does happen a lot. And but you know, I can talk your ears off, but give us an example, or let's jump into where you said something sinister, where I'm gonna destroy you type of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So I was I was going through a tough time. This is before my son was born. I was with my baby's mom. Our son was not born yet, but I don't know. I don't think she was even pregnant yet. But you know, we were dating, and you know, she was always been, you know, raised in the church. Okay. And she's always had her, you know, her faith up, you know. And I just remember her being like, let's go to church. And I was, at this point, we were in the streets, living in hotels. I was selling dope, just to get, you know, try to get a room. So, you know, I was just running around being an idiot. And I just remember one day she said, let's go to church. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go. All right, let's go. Whatever, we're going. So then we went. It was cool. And we went the next week again, you know. Then we went the next week again, and then, you know, they made an announcement. And then one day we, like, you know, we stopped going, and then just one day we ended up going. They were doing baptisms, you know. His name's Pastor Eddie Vargas. I still remember. He goes, anybody that wants to get baptized right now, just do it right now. You don't got to set up nothing. Just decide right now and you do it. You know, so I did, and I got baptized. I was like, oh man, you know. And then it was good, but it's like as soon as that happened,
yes.
Okay, the church is 4 blocks from my house, so we were walking. I didn't have a vehicle. We were walking. As soon as after that, me and my brother, we never fight. We never fight. We never fight. We never argue. Nothing like that. As soon as I go home with my baby mama at the time, my brother's at the house, and he just opens the door, and he just starts grilling me, like arguing with me about something. I forgot what it was about.
Yeah.
But and I was just like, man, what the hell? Like, you know, this shit was going all bad that day, you know. And I think my mom got into it with me, and I just felt like I was being like attacked, like bullied and shit. I was like, what the fuck is everybody tripping on? Like, well, that night, I was with my baby's mom laying in bed, and I hear somebody go, Armando. And I'm like, I didn't say nothing. And then my baby mom was like, she's like, fuck you. Who? And I was like, who you talking? I was like, did you hear that? And she's like, I heard somebody say your name. So she heard it too. And she's just cussing this, whoever it was, out, you know? And all of a sudden, I open my, cause we're we're laying down, you know, I open my eyes, and I swear it's like pitch black, but in the black there was something blacker than the
darker.
black,
Yes.
darker than the completely dark, you know. And it's these like fucking things just start fucking running towards me. Like I see like the boom, like I'm just like, oh shit, and I start fucking freaking out. I'm just like yelling and like, and I look, and I just see like they fucking just run up to you and just stand there, like, right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, okay, like flipping out, freaking out, and my baby mom's like she couldn't see what I was seeing, you know?
Yeah.
But she saw my reaction, and she, like I said, her faith has always been up, you know, and she just knew what was going on. She knew what was happening, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I had to, you know, it wasn't, and shit like that kept going, like she kept attacking me until I really like, there's, you know, something called like a deliverance prayer, you know?
Yeah, right.
And
before you go into that, I want to touch on something that you said. I believe, and this is just me from what you have told me, that when you made that decision to go to church and to get baptized, okay, you know, you were trying to bring your family together, you know, you're making ends meet, and, you know, I guess it's safe to say, you know, you guys were on the right path, okay? One thing that I was told many, many years ago, and I never understood it until it happened to me. An older gentleman told me this. He said, the devil is always right on time. And I didn't understand what that meant. He said, the devil is always right on time. And I'm thinking, I don't know the devil's schedule. I don't know what you're talking about. Here's what happened. I went over to this one gentleman's house that pretty much mentored me. He's the one that educated me in my early 20s. He had given me a Bible, and I had shared this story before on a different episode. And he had told me to go home and read it. It's King James 1611 Bible. And he said, read it like a history book, but it'll open your eyes. I said, okay, cool. And he told me this, and it scared the hell out of me because the sun was already going down. He said, because you have that book in your hand, he said, the devil's waiting for you right outside. Now, you don't tell somebody that, man. And I'm like, really?
He's right by your car.
Yeah. So here's what I said. I said, this book? Really? And he goes, yeah. I said, whatever. Honestly, I'm walking home, and I'm not going to lie to you. I get maybe about a block and a half, and one of my so-called homies that we hadn't talked to maybe in a couple of years pulls up, and he tells me like this, yo, bro, I got a couple of 40s in the back. I got some girls waiting for us in the room. What's up? You want to go get down?
Damn,
And I
that's what that, yeah.
Yes, and I remembered the devil's always right on time. I said like this, nah, I'm good, man. And he tells me like this, what you got right there, man? What you got right there? And I said, well, I was just giving a Bible. You don't want that. You don't want that. And he told me like this, that was written by man. And I said, well, I don't think, you know, I mean, it all happened by accident. I don't think it evolved. Of course it was written, you know.
Right.
You know, and I said, but you know what? You graduated from USC, correct? Yeah. He goes, in with honors. And I go, but you read all those books written by man.
Ah, exactly.
Right?
Straight up.
You believed all of them.
Yeah, straight up.
And you graduated with honors. So I said, I'm good, man. I'm good. I keep going down the street, maybe 2.5 blocks. Another homie pulls up on a motorcycle. Hey, big dog, what are you doing? I'm just going to go home and just study this book. Nah, bro, I got some girls coming over at the crib.
Damn, that's crazy.
And I knew at that point what that professor who gave me this book meant. He was waiting for you right outside. And it all came, in other words, it all happened the way that other gentlemen told me. The devil's always right on time. So he was right on time with you as well. You get home.
Yeah.
And look what happens. Now, look, people don't necessarily have to believe maybe the way I believe or the way MISFIT believes, but these are just our stories. You know, so, and I'm sure many of you out there have had similar stories like that, whether you want to call it the devil, whether you want to call it demons, angels, entities, spirits, whatever. We've all experienced something like this.
Yeah.
But when you said that this thing, the room was dark, but this thing was blacker than the black, I've seen those things.
Yeah. It was a few of them too, you know what I'm saying? And they were just, you know, at first they were just like kind of like on the wall, and then they just fucking, and then just see, you know, I saw them just come at me and like just stand in front of me.
Right.
And I'm over here like freaking out, you know what I'm saying? Low key crying and shit. Like, ah. My baby mom was like, don't worry.
At that time, the mother of your child, has she had ever experienced anything what you saw, or was this only you?
It was just me. I mean, she could always pick up on things, though. Like, I don't get it. You know, she's always been able. I mean, like I said, she was raised in the church, so
yeah.
I mean, I guess it was nothing new to her, but like, she just always knew what was going on. Like, her faith has always been stronger than mine.
Right.
And you know, she was there. I don't know if she experienced it on her own. I don't think she. Well, you know what? Being in that lifestyle that she was with me, I think it was attacking us both. You know.
Right.
Of course, she, you know, but she picked herself back up, you know, and she's a better person now. You know what I'm saying? Like, she overcame some shit, you know, like, for real, because streets ain't no joke, you know.
You know, one time I was in the presence of this female. We were in a group together. This was at a show, and we were all backstage. And this female that everybody knew there, she had said, I'm going to go outside and make a phone call. And all right, go, whatever, you know, a couple of years back. Me and the guys are talking, and all of a sudden I hear a man voice yelling. A man voice. You know, you wait till I catch you, I'ma fuck you. You know, all of, like, that type of voice. You watch what I'm gonna do to you. I'm gonna get you. So I freak out and I'm thinking, okay, nobody's gonna go out there. So I walk out there, and it's the female on the phone. And
Tranny.
No. That was funny. So I walk out and I see her, and she went from fuck you. Can you give me some time? The way this person turned it on and turned it off, it really, really freaked me out.
Yeah.
And then later on, people started telling me more about this female, that this female was involved in, I don't know, you know, I'm not an expert in this, in voodoo, witchcraft, or whatever, but some people were telling me, that girl is demonically possessed.
That's crazy. Now,
here's what kind of confirms it. Whether she was or not, I'm not a priest. You know, I don't have anything to show that she was, other than that. But it was a man's voice coming out. I knew a guy that started to date her. Okay. And one day, I shared with him what I heard. And at first, he was like, "Really? She's such a sweet person." I said, "Okay." Look, it could be possible that she doesn't even know she has something. Because I truly believe that there are some people that are demonically possessed and don't even know it. Until he decided to break up with her, and that voice came out and threatened his life. "Watch what I'm gonna fucking do to you." And he said he was so scared because it sounded like a freaking dude, like a grown man.
Oh, wow.
I mean, what do you do in a situation? So he calls me and he tells me, "I heard what you told me." He goes, "And it's true. I do believe that there's something inside of her."
Damn. Something inside of her.
Yeah. So, you know, so I know it sounds funny, man, but if you would have heard what I heard, It almost sounded like the freaking Exorcist when she had a deep voice and talking to the priest.
Oh yeah.
You know, but have you ever, switching gears up a little bit, unless you have another story you want to share? I know we somewhat touched on it on my other podcast, and I know we touched on it in previous podcasts here with previous guests. But since you're in the music industry and people know who MISFIT SOTO is, people are familiar with your music, and if they're not, your Instagram's popping up, and that'll also be up on the description, so they can look you up, hear your music, etc. Okay. You know, growing up, you always hear this: can you sell your soul to the devil? Do you believe, whether you're an athlete, whether you're an artist, whether you're an actor, whatever, in the industry, do you believe that there are people that have or can sell their soul to the devil?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's not like, well, I don't know if it's asking, you know, whatever powers that be, you know, hey, do this, do that, and I'll give you this, and I'll give you that. But I think it comes in a form of like, okay, here, do this and do a song about this or whatever, like something you know is wrong, like the little fucking, like that Lil Nas X guy, right?
Right.
Like he's just fucking like, he irks me, dude. Like just the shit that he like, you know it's wrong, but you agree to it. I think that's, you know, you agree to do it, and because somebody's telling you to do it. I think that's selling your soul for fame, or for, oh, this is gonna make, you know, this is gonna make $1 million right here if you do this. This is what's in nowadays, and in your heart you're like, nah, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right.
I think that's selling your soul, because you're, you know what I'm saying, you know that it's wrong, but you do it anyways, just for what? Money, fame, popularity, all that shit, you know? I don't necessarily think that it's always just like I'm gonna make a
back with the devil.
I don't think it's like direct like that. I just think it's in your consciousness, like, okay, I know it's wrong, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell out.
Yeah.
I believe that's one way of looking at it, and I agree with that. And then there's other stories that other people have told me that they've known artists that have told them that they've had an encounter with a being and have sold their soul.
That's crazy.
How exactly that transaction works, the details, I don't know. You know, I don't know if they meet something or someone and say, I'll give you my soul, but I want this in return. I don't know what that, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say,
have you seen that Bob Dylan? I always talk about that. Have you seen that Bob Dylan interview when he goes, you know, I have to keep my end of the bargain?
yes.
And they're like, what, you know, he goes, you know, the guy, you know, he says some shit like that, but he's basically, you know, talking about like he made a deal with the devil. Like, he goes, oh, in this world, and in another world you can't see, you know, he's like, I got to keep my end of the bargain. Like,
Yeah.
like, wow.
On Vlad TV, and I'm trying to remember this actor's name. I don't know if he was just being sarcastic or he was being sincere, but supposedly he knew Prince, you know, the artist that passed away, and they asked him, Prince, what can you tell us about Prince? And he said this: the devil came to collect.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's true or not, I'm only sharing what this individual said, and you can look it up on Vlad, that's what this person had said. Now, again, can somebody make a transaction and say, you know, I'll give you my soul? People have sent me videos just on Instagram by itself where guys are FaceTiming each other.
Okay.
And one guy said, man, where did you get all that jewelry? Where'd you get all that money? Where did you get all this? Man, you got to sell your soul to get this. And the other guy says, wait a minute, man, are you serious? And the guy's laughing. You think I'm playing? He goes, what do you think how I got this far so fast?
That's crazy.
Now, think about this. That's why I tell people, if you're going to sell your soul, read the fine print. You know, think about this. You say, I want to sell my soul for fame and fortune, okay? Say you do that.
Right.
But that fame and fortune only lasts 6 months.
Yeah, plus, you know, it's fucking recoupable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were talking about, you know, it's, I mean, yeah, it's cool, but it's recoupable. You got to give it back.
Even with the devil, it's recoupable.
So fuck all that. It's a lose-lose situation.
You know, and I don't understand how people, you know, try. I've known people that have told me, so-and-so, very well-known artist, has tried to recruit me to give my life to Satan. And I'm like, really? Like, yeah. And they've showed me the messages of them going back and forth. And this is these artists. And I will never say their name, but they say, come on.
Yeah.
And, here's my thing, man. First of all, tell hell I ain't coming. Second, I want nothing to do with the devil.
Yeah.
And I think to a certain extent, that's why I don't get along with certain people. You know why? Because my spirits don't connect with their demons. Plain and simple.
Exactly.
That's why somebody can go on their live and spew your name with passion of hate. Because really, it isn't so much that they can't stand you, it's that they know what's inside of you and that you are blessed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that hatred. That's that real hatred.
And you know what? That hatred is demonic.
Yeah.
Let me just share one thing before I let you continue, because I feel that I need to.
Okay.
When I said that I had a Bible and I read it, when you read the Gospels, which is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, these books were not written by people that told them these stories. These were the actual eyewitnesses that sat down and ate and slept and did miracles with Jesus, okay? So they wrote what they experienced. That's what the Gospels are, which means the good news. When I ask people, according to the scriptures, do you know why they crucified Jesus? I ask them this, and many of them say, I don't know, but we do know they crucified. I say, okay, right.
Why? What was the purpose that God had him crucified, or was it why the Romans had him crucified?
Right, or his own people.
His own people. Because they thought he was blaspheming.
Right. But here was the, if you will, the one that they wouldn't let go. This is why he's guilty. It's why the Jewish rabbis and the Jewish people were saying, crucify him because he's guilty of this.
Blasphemy.
Of one thing. And you know what it was? It's going to shock you.
Claiming he was a Messiah.
Not even that.
What was it?
Because he healed on the Sabbath.
Oh, wow, really?
That's it. They said he broke the law of Moses and he healed on the Sabbath. In other words, he did good on a Saturday.
So that was
it.
Dang, that's crazy.
So think about this. You could do something good and people will hate you for it.
Yeah.
Let that one marinate for a while.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's true.
So, but let's get off of that because people are going to think they're watching TBN or something like that. But let's get back to, we talked about a little bit about haunted houses, hauntings.
Yeah. I have one more.
Yes.
So anyway, so then there was this one was totally crazy. EVPs, right? EVPs,
of course.
You know what I'm saying? So I for a while I was toying around with the little thing on my phone or whatever, because I want to see what I could find. Never found much, Then I found this app where it's like it reads these words to you, whatever it's picking up, it reads it out, boom, it reads them out loud. So, anyways, I'm at a friend's house, and it's her and her like two kids that live with her.
Okay.
And the homie that lives next door, we're just kicking it, right? And they're smoking weed, and she's over here talking about, I had to call the cops on the guy. Upstairs they beat their son. The guy beat his dad, but the cops showed up and they never opened the door. I never seen him go to jail. And I was like, she's like, I've called him a couple times, I'm like, that's crazy. Well, fuck, that guy's a piece of shit, So, I guess, I got the next week, go back kicking it over there. And it's about 2 in the morning, maybe like 1:30, 2 in the morning. And you start hearing this, like a kid, like a maybe 10, 11-year-old kid just crying, and water running. It sounded like he was in the shower, but he was crying, you could hear it clearly, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And she goes, I'm telling you, that's the kid, somebody's fucking hating him or something. And I'm like, yo, hold up. I go outside, I go to the front door, I peek my head out, I was like, there's no noise coming up from up there. I was like, yo, are you sure that shit's not coming from inside your room right here? Like, that fucking sound, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, that sound's not coming from upstairs. Well, even though it sounds distant, it's like it's coming from in here.
Right.
You know, like I noticed that shit off top.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hold up. You know, so then I started playing with my little EVP shit. And I'm like, and I didn't tell her. I was just, boom, I turned it on, right? And her name, what was her name? It was the homie, but his homegirl. What was her name? It was his homegirl. I lost it. But anyway, she had a nickname. Okay, she had a nickname. It's like short for something, but so it's fucking saying all this shit, and then boom, it spits out her name.
No.
But her nickname. Okay? Like her nickname, like, you know, it's kind of like Gustavo, right? But it's like Gus.
Okay.
Like, so her name was something like that. It was a long name, but her name was Elizabeth. People called her Lizzie. So it fucking spat out Lizzie on the fucking phone. I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm looking at the homie like, what the fuck? This shit's crazy. So anyways, boom, boom, boom. She's like, let me see. She grabs the phone and it says, a rotten kid, demonic child. And then it says her son, her youngest son, because he was bad, you know?
Right.
Like, he was a little troublemaker. It said her son's middle name, like, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, and then so I'm just like, what the fuck? And the whole time I'm recording, you know, the EVP
Right.
audio.
Right.
And I'm like, dog, what the fuck's going on? It's crazy. So I'm like, fuck, I need a drink, you know? So I walk out to her kitchen. We had cups like these, red cups.
Right.
Boom, 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 bottle, right? So I'm walking to the kitchen. As soon as I'm walking up towards the counter, one of these fucking cups flies out at me, dude, off the counter.
Really?
I ignore it complete. I didn't even fucking like say, oh shit. I didn't even hop back. I was just like, I stopped and I was like, and I kept going.
Right.
I grabbed a cup, a fucking bottle, and I just pretended like it didn't fucking happen, you know. And I told her about it. I was like, she's like, oh, my son says that she sees a man with a hat at night, you know.
You know, it's funny. My good friend, he sees that person. I guess they call him the Hat Man or the Man in the Hat. But if you were to Google Man in the Hat or the Hat Man or whatever, that pops up. It's a shadow figure with the actual round hat. Okay.
Like a detective get up or something.
Yeah.
Like one of those.
A lot of people, you guys can Google that, you know, when you guys get an opportunity, the Hat Man or the Man with the Hat, you know, and that pops up. Now, according to this person, he said he was in his garage and he was sitting down. He has a couch in his garage and a couch in front where they watch TV to the right. And he said that he's had so many experiences. I'm not going to get into all the experiences, but he said this was the best, if you will, experience that he had. And not saying in the best experience that, like, it made him feel good, but, like, it was plain and simple. He felt something open his garage door. They walked in. He's hearing. He turns on the TV and he sees the couch go down.
Oh, what the fuck?
Almost like an invisible man, he says. So he said what he did. This is during the time he had his flip phone. Okay? And so it was around maybe 2005, somewhere around there.
2006.
So he said he puts the flip phone on, and he said he's looking at TV, like not wanting to buy, and he's just clicking pictures. And he said, and it wasn't until the last picture that he finally caught the Hat Man. So he calls me over, and he says, I want you to come see this. He says, here's the only way you're going to believe me. I said, okay. So he was texting me that picture, and I couldn't see anything, just the couch. I couldn't see anything. But on his phone, on his text, what he sent me, I saw the man with the black hat.
Damn, that's crazy.
It was only appearing on his phone. And he said, now press send, that's your number, right? And I go, yeah. But when it would appear on my phone, that man would not come out on my phone.
What the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah. So these are things to me that are unexplainable, but they happen all around the world. So meaning that there is something that is supernatural. It is not in the natural like with us.
Yeah.
But many times we're almost freaked out because they actually appear to us.
Yeah.
We're able to see them.
Yeah.
You know. But wow, you know. Now I know. How old were you when you moved out of that one house where you experienced those things?
Okay, I was about 16.
Okay.
When I moved to the place I'm at now. which is, my parents. Oh, this is so crazy too, man. This is a trip. Okay, so my parents had bought property. They bought a duplex, back house,
Yes.
middle house, which is a garage turned into a big ass fucking spot. That's where I stayed at. Front house.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Well, my parents, like you said, my parents didn't ask about the property. We heard from the neighbors and a couple of other people, like a year and a half before my parents bought those houses. A man, because the 7-Eleven's at the corner, like a block, like 2 blocks away. A guy sent his kids to the store, and while they were gone, he killed his wife and his girlfriend and shot himself in the fucking house where my brother moved into, and his wife and and I remember one time we were, because it's like, okay, front house, middle garage, back house, and then we have the little driveway right here. So we would do barbecues right here. We'd all be right there in the little thing, and the back door to my brother's house leads straight into the kitchen. So one day he was talking about it. We were talking about it. I was like, hey, fool, you know what happened in your house, right? He's like, yeah, I know, fool. They told you, and I heard about it. I was like, yeah, that's crazy, fool. I barely found out about it. Somebody told me. He goes, yeah, you didn't know? I was like, yeah, fool. So we're talking about what the hell happened, and all of a sudden the dishes in the kitchen, we just hear them go, like they fucking fell, like if somebody just slapped them off the fucking thing,
Right.
But they didn't. But they didn't. It sounded like it broke, but there was nothing broken.
That many times I've heard stuff like that. You could be in your room and all of a sudden you hear like your front door slam and you get up like, what the hell, somebody here? And there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying. It's almost like you hear that something, the plates crashed or fell on the ground,
But it's not. Yeah.
but it's nothing there. You kind of wonder like, where in the hell did that sound come from? Especially if other people hear it.
Oh yeah, we all heard it. As soon as that shit happened, we turned and we looked and we're like, "What the fuck?" Like, yeah.
Now let's dig deep a little bit into that. Do you believe? And that was in the house where the man killed himself, killed his wife,
his girlfriend, and they had 2 kids. They sent the kids. Well, he sent the kid. Hey, go to 7-Eleven, give me. As soon as that happened, I guess she was cheating on something. So the story goes, whatever. I don't know. Point is, sent the kids to 7-Eleven, and while they were at the store, shot his girl and shot himself.
Here's my thing, man. When I think of children like that, man, and then coming home and finding their family, they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And that memory lives with them forever.
Yeah.
You pretty much damage the kids forever.
Yeah.
So now, digging deeper into that, do you believe, because here's what some people believe, and I'll ask you the question. Some people believe that when something like that happens, those people are still there, okay, and they still think it's still their home. Do you believe in things like that?
I do. I think that some don't know they're gone, or some don't know that, or maybe they're just, I don't know if it's a different dimension, or I don't know what the hell, but I just think that maybe some don't realize that they're gone, or it's so tragic or something that their soul can't rest. They just keeps reliving that one specific moment at whatever specific time. It's just like a replay button, or maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just, I mean, from what I've seen, some of them seem to be intelligent, like. Not just, some seem to be like reoccurring instances, like a photograph.
Right,
just
right.
boom, like repeating, and like that's not really a haunting. Maybe that's just I don't know what that you would call that. But then there's like the intelligent ones that know that they're fucking with you.
Yeah,
like the one where I was walking up and the motherfucker, just boom, sent a cup flying my way. Like, what the fuck? Like, there's that, but then there's also ones where it has nothing to do with you. Like,
yeah. And my thing is this, that the best movie I believe that has depicted what you're saying about possibly people that don't know they're dead, or maybe they're dead and they haven't gone to their resting place or haven't found peace, or is that movie Ghost with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze, where he communicated to his girlfriend through a psychic.
Right.
I don't know if that's true. Great movie, but I hear so many stories that it makes you think like, wow.
Have you seen the others?
Yes,
that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
that was kind of like they didn't know they were dead.
Right.
And it's like the mom, Nicole Kidman, ended up being like she killed the kids and killed herself because she lost her husband in the war. So, it was kind of like reversed. So at the end of the movie, you find out that it's like her and her kids are the fucking ghosts. You know what I'm saying? And they're being, you know, taught, like the ghosts they're hearing are people trying to contact them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's dope. It's a dope ass twist on it, because the whole time you think like their house is haunted and they're being haunted by these fucking. You're like, damn, this is crazy, you know. But then in the end, it turns out that Nicole Kidman was the crazy bitch that killed her kids, and she doesn't know it. She doesn't know it. And the ghosts that are trying to contact her are human beings trying to contact the dead, because she's dead. Yeah.
I thought I had seen it, but I guess not. You know which one is really, really crazy? Is Sixth Sense.
Oh, the Sixth Sense. That was great. That was great.
Yeah. You know, we didn't know that he was dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. At the end.
Yeah, so that one, so kind of like when you say, you know, that these things hang around. I've had guests here that have said, oh yeah, that's them. You could just tell them to leave, you know, go rest. This is your home now, or whatever. This is just me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to talk to it. I don't want to, you know, hi, how are you? You know, like many times you look at these ghost hunters.
Yeah, oh, that's crazy.
Is anybody here? Why are you going to go look? Imagine if these things decided to get like hostile towards you.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh wait, look, there's somebody. He's trying to get, you know, trying to get a hold of us. Like once they know that you're trying to get a hold of them, they're gonna fucking make sure that.
And the reason why I have a hard time believing a lot of that stuff on ghost hunters or those type of shows, I'm just not picking on a certain show, is because the way. I've sat through a year of editing when I did my documentary, okay? So I know the things that we can do in editing.
Oh, yeah.
So when I see things, you know, I can tell my whole crew right now, we're going to pretend we're going to turn around, look to the right, and we all freak out and go, what the hell was that? Mm-hmm. I'll put that somebody, a yell, and somebody kicked a can in the editing.
Yeah, of course.
So when I see those things, I'm like, come on, pal.
Yeah,
you know, give me a better one.
Yeah, it can't be all fucking, you know, boring ass shit. It usually probably is, you know.
Yeah, and a ghost makes a cameo appearance on their show, on every show.
Yeah,
you know, like they have Bigfoot show
on the heat camera, on the heat sensor camera.
Yeah, you know, exactly. Or the Bigfoot show where people go looking for Bigfoot, and all they show you is bushes moving. You know, I heard it, and what I saw wasn't human. Well, of course, that's great TV. Yeah. You know, but that's why it's very, very hard for me to accept what I see on TV. So I would rather have guests like yourself and other guests come and share their experiences, and have people call in and be a part of the show and share their stories, because many of the stories are very, very similar. You know, so, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take intermission break.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to be back in about 5 minutes. So, first and foremost, I want to apologize for the technical difficulties, but when we have to upgrade, you know, our program, it usually takes a minute. We usually get in here about an hour and a half before we go live, just to set up and get the show ready for you guys, even on our other podcast. So it takes time. It's not like we just get in here, turn everything on, and go live. It never works that way. There are things that we need to do. So, but we want to apologize even for last week's cancellation. And also, we won't be back next week, but the week after, we're going to do it every other week. So hopefully in July of this month, I'll be on 2 more times. So I'm going to try to stay on schedule, but I thank everybody for their patience. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a 5-minute intermission break. We're going to come right back with more MISFIT SOTO stories. So stay tuned. We're going to turn on the calls when we come back. Call in, share your freaky tales on this Freaky Friday, and we want to thank you once again. We'll see you soon in 5 minutes. And welcome back, everyone, to Freaky Tales Podcast. And I am Tony the Wizard, your host. And I'm sitting right here with a very good friend who is no stranger to not only my other podcast, but it's his first time here today on Freaky Tales. So I'm thankful that he is here. And MISFIT, we've been discussing some of the paranormal things that you've gone through, some of the things you've experienced. And the reason why I'm on my phone is because some people are, for some reason, are trying to call me right now. So if you see that I'm live, please don't call. Okay. So now we talked about haunted houses, hauntings, ghosts, EVPs, paranormal activity, shadow people. I wanted to ask you this because a lot of people, everyone has a different answer, but do you believe in aliens? Do you believe that there's something outside of us in existence?
I know you don't.
Right. I'm very skeptic. Mm-hmm. I just feel that I need more proof.
You need to see it yourself.
I need to see it myself. I need to see more than just somebody throwing a hubcap up in the air. We take a Polaroid picture, and then we say, look, it's a UFO. I need to see more. There's people, I've seen movies like Signs, Fire in the Sky, Close Encounters, E.T., and I need to see more than just nice stories. Of course, people can get into all these conspiracy theories, the government's hiding it, the government this, the government that, the government this. When I always feel that whenever we can explain something, you know what we say? Oh, the government's hiding it. I mean, when we say the government, I want people to be more specific. I mean, when you say the government, are we talking about the post office? I need people to be a little bit more specific.
Do you believe that? Okay, like
yes.
Hollywood, like the movie, industry. Do you think that they tell us things in the way they do, like with the movies, that they tell us like really what the fuck is really going on?
I do believe that they let out clues.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, what if like Men in Black? If you think about Men in Black, right? Everything's kind of like made up into this cartoony, type of movie, but like, what if that's really going on?
Well, there are people, and I know very educated people on this subject. When it comes to this subject, again, I'm a skeptic. Mm-hmm. I listen. I'm a good listener, but I just need more than just your $20 intelligent words. Mm-hmm. When people try to explain to me about, Bob Lazar and, he's a billionaire and he's dedicated so much money to, aliens, UFOs, and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. But if you can't show us or tell us anything, then that was a waste of money. They make nice documentaries, beautiful movies. I need to see concrete evidence. Supposedly in June, remember, the government was going to start letting us know, that there's aliens here or proof and all they showed was just some sorry old footage on the news.
They showed the pyramids, they're like pyramid structures floating or something like that, like 3 pyramids. Like, it was weird.
But now you being somebody who edits your own videos.
Oh, that's easy to do.
See, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it's easy to do. Make it literally green screen anything and just grab a little triangle, put a little light under it behind the green screen or something.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, drop it into the other clip.
Right.
And there you have your fucking...
There you have it. Yeah. But now, in all fairness, let me ask you, why is it that you believe in UFO/aliens? What is it that you've seen or heard that has made you somewhat of a believer?
I just think that the fucking universe is too huge for us to be the only life form, like, in the whole universe. Like, that's just kind of... It's kind of egotistical to think that we're like... I think that we're like the smallest, probably... I think we're like ants, bro. I think we're like the smallest fucking life form, like, as far as, like, I think that we've been created, maybe, as I don't know. I just think it could be that we're fucking, like, we're ants in an ant farm or some shit.
See, like, to me, it's not that hard to believe that we are the only life form.
But how? So our planet is the only planet that could sustain, like, life?
Yes. It hasn't been proven. People say,
how many planets are there?
well, I can't, I don't know.
Way too many.
Yeah, it's way too many.
A lot. Thousands.
Right.
9 in our solar system, but thousands in our thousands of planets.
Absolutely. But for me, that just goes to show how great God is and how much he cares about us, that he only tends to us. Now, that's just me.
What if he has kids over here and kids over here? Like,
Okay.
you know,
I don't know about it.
We got our version of like this is for Earth, this is for y'all right here. I'm God, and this is for y'all because this is how, but this is for this is for you don't know.
Of course, and it's always good to ask because everybody has their own point of view, and that's your point of view. Mine, it's not hard for me to believe that we are the only people that have been created by God, and we live here on Earth, and the sun is for us, the moon is for us, everything is for us. They always say we could probably sustain life on Mars or a planet. We found water. We found this. Here's my thing. Before we try to go find life on other planets, let's save the lives that are here. You know, there are people, let's be honest, and I know maybe a little bit off subject here, but I just want to nail this down real quick. Okay. There are people that would tie themselves up to a tree. This tree is 60 years old, and they'll save that tree, okay? There are people that will protest against animal cruelty, and all of those are great, But where are those same people at an abortion clinic?
Oh, yeah.
You know what they say? It's women's choice. Hey, it's all good. I understand that. But I'm just trying to make a point that we're too busy looking for life outside of Earth, and we're killing life here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just me. I may be wrong, but that's just the way I see it.
So now they have. Did you see that thing about how I forgot where it was, but it's like they're giving an option to, like, say if a kid if a kid is born having like problems or whatever, and like the baby dies in the process of being born, they're able to resuscitate the baby and store it if the mom agrees and the doctor agrees, like, which I'm thinking they're not going to tell the mom, but gives her okay to resuscitate the baby. They'll take it and put the baby somewhere comfortable and kill it again for like the organs.
Oh, you know what? I have heard of that.
I
have heard of that.
Like, I think it was Texas, like some shit like that, where it's like, what do you mean? Like, okay, if the baby's born with problems and we have to resuscitate him, that's an option that will keep the baby alive and kill it again. Like, after
for organs.
For organs.
Yeah.
Like it passed. Like it was or they were trying to pass, or I think it did pass, like a bill or some shit like that.
Yeah.
That it's just fucking crazy, bro.
It's kind of like,
it's weird.
Again, to me, it's freaky. Partial birth abortions as well, but I'll leave that. You guys look that up. I'm not going to educate you on that because we're going off subject, but at the same time, it's very sickening.
It's sickening, and the devil's involved in it. So
yes.
It's kind of on subjects as well.
Yes.
I believe all that evil shit is fucking just crazy.
Yeah, just look up partial birth abortions, and this is what's allowed here. So
yeah, they're allowing post something abortion, something like that.
But now, let's. What is it that you like? Again, I know was it one time in your life that maybe you might have heard a documentary, somebody speak, that made you somewhat of a believer in that there is aliens or UFOs here?
I think there's aliens. I mean, it's just the technology that we have is just. I just think that we've had it forever, the technology. Like, I think if you look at there was I forgot where I saw this, but there was like the VR headsets that we have nowadays, like virtual reality. They had something like in the 40s or 50s, like it was a cubicle that you sat at, right? And it was virtual reality. Like, the government had virtual reality. You could buy this in the 50s, and if you look at the patent for the goggles, it's the same as what the fuck we have now. It's the same thing. It's the fucking VR goggle. Like,
right.
like the HTC Vive or whatever. Like in the 50s, the patent is from the 50s, and it's the exact same piece of equipment.
Well, I know they said that.
So and we barely got VR like how long ago? Like
Yeah.
for everybody to use here. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
imagine it's been around since the 50s. So how much technology do you think that we have, and where's it coming from?
Yeah.
That they're gonna wait 60 more years to give it to the public. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Yeah.
That intelligence has got to be coming from somewhere.
No, and I agree with that. I agree with that. I just don't believe that it's aliens. I believe something else.
You think that there's people that are that smart?
No. I think there are smart individuals, but they're getting their knowledge from something else.
Summoning something maybe, or darker places?
That's exactly where I'm headed. That's exactly where I'm headed.
Well, aliens can be I mean, I've heard that too.
See?
Aliens are demons.
See, and I'm glad you bring that up, because there are people that believe that no, there's no aliens. Those are just demons disguising themselves as UFOs and aliens. Aliens, and then there's people that believe in aliens and demons that believe that the demons are the aliens. Like it's almost like vice versa. Like those are demons. No, those are aliens. Those are demons. No, those are aliens. But they believe almost in the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You know. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. My dad was a big believer in aliens, UFOs. For an example, let's go back to the Bible.
Okay.
Moses delivers the children out of Egypt. God sends them to tell Pharaoh, let my people go. Whether you believe in that or not, this is the story that I'm just sharing. They come out, they go into the wilderness. In the wilderness, to find their way to the promised land, which should have taken 12 to 14 days, took them 40 years. Took them 40 years, okay? And there's one scripture that explains why. Because God wanted to see what was in their hearts. He's taking them from an old place to a new place. And he's trying to strip them, if you will, of Egypt, of that old lifestyle, okay? So now, during by day, you know what they follow in the sky? A cloud. My dad would say, that's a UFO. At night, you know what they would follow? A pillar of fire.
Yeah.
And he would say, that's, a UFO.
Yeah.
Elijah gets taken up by a chariot of fire and he goes into heaven.
Yeah.
That was a UFO came to get him. It sounds great. In the book of Jeremiah, there's a wheel in the middle of a wheel. That's a UFO right there. I mean, just because it spins doesn't mean it's a UFO, But
how do you explain the art, like the art from like thousands of years ago that depict actual like flying saucer UFOs? Like,
what do you mean?
Like, like if you look at like fucking, there's some ancient fucking like paintings.
Yeah, you're right.
With UFOs in it, like,
right.
That's a fucking UFO. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
So
See,
how do you explain that? Like,
other people can explain it and say this. Well, maybe it was it was passed down through oral tradition that when they came out of Egypt, they went into the promised land, that's what they followed. So they drew the pillar of fire, or they drew the cloud. That could also be debatable. We don't know. Some people say, well, no, that's carbon dating. But carbon dating is not an exact science. You can't just say this was 10,000 years ago. I always found out that when somebody can explain something, they'll just add another zero at the end. It was 1 billion years ago. I don't believe in billion years ago. I don't. I believe it or not, in a young Earth. And I don't believe that the Earth is flat.
oh yeah, I don't believe that.
I don't believe. Most guys got flat chest. Go to the gym. I believe the Earth is round. Okay, so, but now, I just need a little bit more proof. Now they say that the government supposedly is going to be releasing a lot more evidence, proof. But now here's an interesting question. Why now?
Because I believe in Project Blue Book, man.
Okay, touch a little bit.
Project Blue Beam. I think that right now they're going to try to scare us into like some fucking fake alien invasion. I believe that these whatever satellites we're sending up there are really just fucking huge projectors, that they're going to project these fucking holograms, because that technology is available. They've tested it already. They send the satellite projects holograms into the sky, just as they do into the ground, of fucking whales and all types of dolphins and shit like that, whatever. So 3D, full 3D. It's not even on the floor. It's full 3D, dude. Like really, like,
Wow.
like, So I believe that they're gonna scare us, try to scare the public into thinking there's some fucking alien invasion. They're gonna start popping up everywhere. These holograms are gonna start fucking coming out with fucking these big ass flying saucer, kind of like Independence Day.
Right,
the movie.
right.
I just think it's gonna be all fake, and then it's gonna try to force us into like a one world government.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because I've been having dreams about that, and I've shared them here on the show, that we're going to have an invasion, but it's not going to be an alien invasion. It's going to be set up.
No, it's gonna be fake.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I truly believe that it's going to be hostile. I almost kind of see it like, what was it? War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. I think that's what it's called. War of the Worlds.
I think they're gonna project aliens, and then they're gonna project a fake Messiah.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're gonna try. Okay, one God, everybody bow down, and this
Yes,
is
one world government,
yeah.
one world currency,
And,
one world religion.
Yeah.
Of course. And you know where I read that at? Revelations chapter 13. So, and I'm thinking, okay, John wrote that. John the Revelator, the youngest disciple that Christ had, he wrote that down. Now, whether people want to believe it or not, either he saw the future or he was a good guesser. Okay, so let that one marinate. Okay, he actually said that at one point. Now this is the crazy part. At one point, he said that there will be two witnesses in Jerusalem. That the Antichrist is going to kill them, and he's going to lay them on the street for the whole world to see them. Now, when he wrote that, he was in the Isle of Patmos. Either he saw it or he was a good guesser, because only in today's technology can you see somebody standing or laying or acting in one place and the whole world can see you because of satellite now.
It's satellite, right?
I mean, think about this. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have TikTok, and the whole world can now see you.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, straight up.
Okay, so once again, either he was a good guesser or he saw it. And he said that in the third day, those two witnesses will rise up again and the whole world would see them. Now, just a little quick history lesson. Israel became a nation May 14, 1948. Okay, May 14, 1948. If you would have read that scripture before Israel became a nation, because they were almost desolate for almost 2,000 years. If you would have read that scripture before Israel became a nation, you would have said, that cannot be, because Jerusalem does no longer exist. When Israel became a nation, and in June, I want to say June 7, 1967, when Jerusalem was restored as the capital of Israel. Today it's Tel Aviv, that's the capital, but Trump was trying to give them back Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. And people started saying, we're living in the last days, because in order for these prophecies to happen, Israel had to be back in its home. Well, guess what? They're back in their home, and the ball's moving. And I believe that a lot of these things are happening. I'm not preaching scripture. I just thinking to myself, either John saw it or he was a good guesser.
Yeah. What about the Euphrates River?
Yes.
Drying up.
Yes. Yes.
Didn't that happen?
Yes.
Doesn't it say in the Bible?
Yes.
The Euphrates River will dry up.
You know, and here,
And it happened.
See, and here's the thing that a lot of people would want to argue, because we say Bible, you know.
Scripture.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people want to argue. The sad thing is that we're not preaching religion. It's something we read and we see it. People would run and would rather believe a guy named Nostradamus.
Yeah.
You know, and all they can say is, well, look him up. He predicted everything. Well, no. You know, if you were considered a prophet and you got one wrong, if I tell you by this time tomorrow, you know, there's going to be a man standing right here in black, you'll see. And if that man never came, I'm a false prophet. Back then, you would be stoned to death.
I bet.
Today, people are lining up to be prophets in the church because there's prophet in it.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. Hell yeah.
So, but yeah, back to the alien invasion. I do believe that. I do believe that there's technology out there that's out of this world, that if we probably saw it, what the government has, we would be terrified.
I think we could try. I think we could or you know what? Somebody came up with this concept. I think that there's probably some kind of fucking way to tap into like a different dimension or different part of your brain, or
You know how people do that?
psychedelics.
Yes. Oh man, ayahuasca. People say
I
that.
heard that you know that people. I mean, people do that and go into meetings with like.
Yes.
Because they say that's the first thing you see is beings, like some
Right.
beings, right? So there's actually people that like have that. Okay, we got to go communicate with these fucking beings, and they fucking all take ayahuasca and they sit in
Yeah.
a fucking room and they fucking have the same experience and they meet
See-
up with these fucking beings.
See, and that's where some people have told me that's where they get their ideas for technology when they come to.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people have told me.
I
Excuse
heard
me.
Bill Gates is.
Some
runs
people have
that.
told me this. Whether this is true or not, I never took mushrooms. They'll say mushrooms. People have said acid. I've never taken none of those. I don't care to meet with anybody, you know.
Right.
But there's people that said that they took psychedelics, and then all of a sudden they see things like this, you know, like this.
Yeah.
You know, some people have told me they've taken ayahuasca to go fix their past and talk to their younger self. You know, some people said that they find healing in it. Was it Mike Tyson not too long ago came out and said that mushrooms saved his life?
Oh yeah.
You know, so here's the danger in that. If, at least in my opinion, and I have to say that, some people believe in God, some don't. Some people have their own interpretation of God. Some people have the right interpret, whatever. There are people that have taken psychedelic saltings and then they've come back and said, I no longer believe in God. Now, did they see something that maybe they don't no longer believe, or maybe were they deceived? There was something that happened that changed their thinking. You know,
Yeah.
like they're no longer the same person.
I mean, and especially if it's something as natural as ayahuasca or something, you know what I'm saying? Something that grows on this earth.
Right, right.
So it's like maybe, I mean, is it really bad to tap into? Are you, because it's, you know, God put everything here for us, right? Is it bad to tap into that? I don't know, you know? It's not created as a drug. It's just a tea of a plant, right?
Right,
Boiled and
right.
So are we supposed to see that? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Are we supposed to be able to tap into that?
That's a really good question. And the best way that I could answer it, and this is my answer, okay? I'm not a doctor, so I'm not trying to push this on anyone. But in the Garden of Eden, when earth was perfect, according to the story in Genesis, there were certain things that God told Adam and Eve not to eat. So, yes, I do believe there are things that we were not meant to tap
So
into.
it wasn't just the apple. It was more.
Right. Well, it never really said apple. It said the fruit.
The fruits.
The fruit.
Or the apple, I'm thinking Snow
Right.
White or some shit. Or what
And even after, when in the Levitical law to the children of Israel, he told them what to eat and what not to eat.
Okay, so that's the good. Okay.
You know. So again, that's where I get that from. But now, who's the idiot that saw a fat frog and
wanted
licked
to
his
lick
back
it. Yeah, that's crazy.
and said, "Man, you know."
Where does this knowledge come from? You know what I'm saying? I
Man.
believe, you know, maybe a fucking alien said, "Hey, lick that shit."
Hey, lick his back.
You know, lick that shit. Lick the little bump right there.
Yeah,
Do a little,
exactly.
little twist with your tongue type shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, think about this. What made somebody look at a lobster and say, that would go good with lemon and butter?
Right. That's
Looks like a roach.
But it wasn't a roach. It was a rock. Rock lobster.
See, that's what it was, a rock
Man,
lobster.
That's who fucking looks at a lobster and says, I'm gonna boil that shit alive.
Yeah.
Hear it scream.
Now, let's think about this.
We're not
okay?
gonna kill it first. We're gonna boil it alive because that's the only way to eat the lobster.
Now let's
Like,
think
it's
about
crazy.
this. Somebody looks at a wheat plant and looks at the bud. Okay, this is how ignorant I am about weed, because you don't actually smoke the
plant.
the leaf. You smoke the bud, correct?
bud,
Okay. Who said? Think about it. Let's dry that up and smoke it.
Fucking
Where did that come from?
Cheech and Chong's ancestors, bro. You know, I don't know. Where did that shit come from? Huh?
You take
Jamaica.
Yeah, you take a coca leaf. I'm gonna put that in my nose.
No. I'm gonna get that coca leaf. I'm gonna extract it. I'm gonna add gasoline. I'm gonna add concrete onto it, and then you know what I'm saying? Have you seen the process of how they make cocaine?
Yes.
Fool, they put fucking concrete. Like they put concrete. They put fucking gasoline, and At the end of the fucking
Yeah,
process, you got coke, but it's like, fool, that's like literally concrete, like sidewalk. Concrete.
Yeah, like who told you to do that?
That's crazy, man.
It's a green plant. Let's do it.
The aliens are like, y'all want to get fucked up? Let's get, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man.
Smoke it.
Who does that?
Where did it come from? You know?
Geniuses.
Did you know, this is going to trip a lot of people out. Did you know in the Bible, this is why I'm so intrigued, and I don't push this on anyone, but it is very intriguing. Cain killed his brother Abel. We know that story.
Yes.
Cain's descendants, okay, look it up. I want to say Genesis chapter 6, but somewhere between 3 and 6. Talks about Cain's descendants. Cain was a murderer of his brother, spilled his brother's blood, okay? God actually put a mark on his forehead, okay? Now, amongst his descendants, a murderous family is the first time that music is ever mentioned.
Damn. Murder was a case that they gave.
I mean, think
Abel.
about that. Think about that. That's the
Cain.
first time. Now, whether people want to believe, oh, you know what? The Bible's fake. The Bible's a lie. Okay, if it is fake, cool. Whatever. If it's a lie, cool. But why are you so mad? You know.
Hey, that's crazy. When we were talking about that last time, how music is strong, man. Music is strong. Music can be weaponized. Music is weaponized. Yeah. Music has been weaponized.
Okay, let's think about this. If you look in the book of Ezekiel, Google this because I don't remember the exact chapter. It talks about Satan's organs, pipes, trembles. Some of those in the original Hebrew could be translated into tambourines, organs, pipes, and there was like flutes.
Instruments, harp.
Yes.
Harp, like a body shaped like a harp, yeah.
Everything in his body. Now,
instrument.
Isn't it funny that he has those organs, but yet the first time that it's mentioned amongst a murderous family? Of course, yeah. Okay? Now, say that Satan is real, just for the sake of the Freaky Tales conversation.
Okay.
MISFIT, and I'm just using you as an example. I want you to tell people to take drugs, prostitute themselves, kill themselves over money, and commit suicide, and just do what thou wilt. And then you say, I can't, nobody's going to listen to me. But now the devil goes, yeah, they will. Just put a beat behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. They do, yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's going on nowadays.
Just put a beat behind it. They'll follow.
Yeah. Well, you know how shit. You heard about that shit that happened, like that one meeting, right? The one meeting that when they chose to like weaponize hip hop or gangster rap. Yeah, there was all these record labels that had invested money into private prisons. They all had, so they said we gotta fill these prisons up. So all these record execs met up for one fucking meeting, a private meeting, and said we're gonna push this gangster rap as much as we can to the kids, and so they could fill up the private prisons. So there was.
Let me ask you this: did it work?
Of course it did.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
If you tell them, they won't do it, but if you put a beat behind it,
okay. So that's when that whole shit, that onslaught of fucking gangster rap came out. 90s.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that it was dope. It couldn't have been whack.
It wasn't whack.
It had to be dope.
But the agenda behind it was
the agenda is the point that you're trying to make, and and that's what we're trying to say, because music itself,
it did fucking shape it like the way shit is, man.
Yeah, and I want to say this: music itself is not the evil part that we're talking about; it's the agenda behind it. It's the agenda. So, but now, because there is, isn't it wild that we're talking about music, and there are certain songs that make you forget everything. Like, that's just a beautiful song. And then there's songs that make you remember everything.
Yeah, and get you in a bad mood, like, man, fuck that.
Yeah. There are certain slow songs that I will not listen to. Their love songs are big classic hits, like from the 60s and 70s. A man, I believe, could be happily married with his wife, living with his family. And many times you could hear those old depressing songs, and it'll get you in a bad mood.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like a whole vibe thing.
It is. I mean, the world is vibes. I mean, everything's vibration.
Yes.
How do you talk? It's your vibration of your vocal cords.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like everything is vibration. Like everything. They do have. Oh, did I tell you about that experiment where there's a sphere and in a box, an empty box, and they're shooting frequencies at it. Radio frequencies or sound frequencies.
I believe somebody.
So they're just sending sound frequencies at this fucking ball, like a wiffle ball, ping pong ball, in this clear box, and the sound frequency is making the fucking ball spin.
Wow.
Yeah, look it up. Fucking YouTube that shit. Like
Wow.
It's an experiment they did. Yeah.
There was something that I read that said life and death is in the power of the tongue. Okay, yes. Life and death. So I can speak life into you, or I can speak death into you, and many times it all depends on the individual.
Yes.
Because there are people that will literally look up to you and believe everything you say. Okay, let's take one for an example. Hitler. He spoke to all of them people, do this to this people, and they did it.
Yes.
Let's take it, and I'm just hopping around. Jim Jones, when he took those people to Guyana, the People's Temple, drink the Kool-Aid, and they all did.
They all did, and they all fuck. Yeah, that's crazy ass.
Now,
cults.
Yeah. Then you got Charles Manson, go to this Sharon Tate's house or whatnot and kill them, and then we're going to go kill them over there. There was no gun force to these people. Now, how much more powerful put a beat behind it?
Yeah, straight up.
Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So
don't mean to cut you off. Not only that though, but I think that statement is strong in itself. Like, and everybody who's watching, I urge everybody to just speak positively, man. Because when you start, I know motherfuckers get depressed sometimes, and motherfuckers get and a lot of motherfuckers that start speaking negatively, like I want to die, I want to like shit like that. I mean, I've been guilty of doing that shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to give up and shit. But it's like you don't know the type of energy that shit's bringing your way.
Yes.
So if you having some bad day or whatever like that, like. Man, just it's hard, but I mean, if you're gonna speak some shit out loud, speak positive shit.
Absolutely.
Because words are powerful. Words are picked up by the universe, and the universe will deliver.
And imagine speaking all of that in front of children.
Yeah.
Then they're raised up just as worse as the person who spoke those words, and then you say, "Oh, that kid was born like that." No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. You spoke that in the air, and he listened.
Yeah.
You could be cursing, and then that child will say the F word.
Yeah.
Who taught him that? Well, look who he listened to. It's very, very important. Yeah. For an example, like my grandbabies, I shower them with love, and I'm constant. Honestly, I tell them I love you at least 100 times a day. Yeah. I love you. Come here, my love. I hug them and kiss them. I want them to feel loved and adored, because as grandparents, as parents, they look up to us. They don't know right from wrong unless we teach them.
Right.
And then many times we can teach somebody wrong by what we release.
Oh yeah, of course.
By what Definitely. We release. How many people, sad to say, have said, now whether this is true or not, but have said, I was listening to Marilyn Manson and I fell through the song. He was telling me to go shoot up the school. I was listening to Ozzy Osbourne and I killed myself. I left a note and, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I think a lot of times, a lot of these kids have blamed music for the actions that they did. Mm-hmm. But my thing is this, that maybe it could have been part of, I don't know, but people say, well, no, you know what, Tony, that's dumb, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you have to be a weak-minded idiot to do that. Guess what? There are weak-minded people out there.
So, yeah, the majority of people out there.
There are weak-minded people.
There's a lot of weak-minded motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, so I think I shared this with you on the other podcast, that there are certain groups that I can't listen to anymore. And I'll tell you why. Because they bring a certain vibe. Every time I listen to this one specific group, all I want to do is drink.
Yeah.
All I want to do is drink.
Led Zeppelin, was it?
That's one of them, the Doors.
The Doors, that's right.
All I want to do is drink. And I'm like, I'm not drinking whiskey today.
Yeah.
Forget that.
Yeah.
But But you know what? Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm weak at that. You know, so I stay away from
Maybe
it.
Jim, maybe just Jim Morrison's fucking energy just fucking lives on, man. Through the whiskey lives on through his music.
You know, I had this one guy, and then we'll take some phone calls after this, that told me that he used to go to the liquor store, but on the way to the liquor store, there was the crack house that he used to buy stuff from.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, how do I go to the liquor store without getting tempted? And I said, two things. Either you go to another liquor store, a different direction, or guess what? You take the long way around
Shit.
and then go by there, because you have the power to do that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I know, but I like going the short way. Okay.
Short way, yeah.
There are certain things that we just have to avoid. So if you're around me, don't play the doors. But anyways, man, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and pull up the number. We're just going to take a couple of phone calls. And let me go ahead and connect this, the Bluetooth. And let's see. I'll tell you when we got it. Okay, it's connected. We're ready to go. When you guys call, please turn down your TV, because many times we hear our echo, and usually there's like a 10-second delay, so you're not going to be able to see yourself on TV calling live. There's a 10-second delay. It's just the way it works. When you call, please, short story, no longer than 2 minutes. We want to give everybody an opportunity to share their story. If you have a story you want to share, or maybe you want to touch on something that we've been speaking on, you know, call now and just say, hey, you know what, there's no debate, but you know what, Misfit, or you know what, Tony, I agree, I disagree. Share with us why you agree, or maybe you've seen something you want to share, something that's been happening in your family, something, you know, whatever. If you guys want to take calls, well, you know what, somebody just, okay, here we, okay, hold on 1 second. So, go ahead and give us a call whenever you guys are ready. We had one phone call, but somebody hung up. Okay, they still keep saying microphone access disabled. Please enable in device settings. Okay, let me see. Let me go to settings. I don't know why. Talk to them. No expiry number. It's still not. Give me a second. Forwarding. Okay, turn on, okay. I'm trying to fix it because they say it's in my settings why I can't take no phone calls. So give me a second. Restore descriptions. Okay. Remove ads and calls. Okay. Okay. No, we should be good. I don't see why we can't. Well, we can't take no calls, so give me one more voicemail. What's that? Okay, forward to a number off. Try to turn it off. Try turn it off again. Okay. No, it keeps saying. Just give us a second. You know what? It says microphone access disabled. Please enable in device settings. So I'm trying to, you guys. So give me 1 second, please. We're not going to take too long if I can't take this thing, if I can't get this thing going. So let me go ahead and try to log out again and log back in. Okay. I'm trying to get this to work. Okay, we're there. Still saying the same thing. I don't know why. Look at, just so you can see, look at it says device.
An error occurred.
Yeah, it just says error occurred. I don't know why this app is not working, so it's still saying the same thing. Give us a second, you guys, because I just don't see where to fix this. No, it's just reading error occurred, so I don't know why. No, I just did that. Okay, give me 1 second. Once again, what's your number? Okay, well, it's not coming through. Shoot. Okay, the more you guys call, the more I'm not going to be able to fix this. So give me a second, you guys, please. Okay, international calls. Nope. It keeps popping up. I can't even fix it because you guys are constantly calling. I know you guys are trying to get through, but fail to start purchase. Okay. Call forwarding. Forward to voicemail. Let's see. You won't be seen. Okay, forward. Unlock. Okay. So, call forwarding to a number is it? Okay, well, I can't get this to work. Cause look at it, still reading.
My phone access disabled. Please enable in device settings.
Now look at, I go to
Settings.
I'm in settings, but I don't see where I could enable it.
Okay. People keep calling.
Yeah, you can't keep
All right,
calling.
stop calling really quick. You go to notifications.
See, so just while you're looking at it, if you can't see it,
Here, let me see.
yeah,
Hey,
just,
can you guys stop calling though?
yeah, just give us a second. Stop calling for a second.
Okay. Bam. I don't know. Is that the menu right there? Because
No, I said it again. Hold on 1 second. If I can't get this to work, then we're just not going to do it until I fix it. But let me go to my apps, and maybe it's in there. So give me 1 second, guys, please. Okay? Give me 1 second. I really want to get this to work because I want to take you guys' phone calls. But, okay, give me 1 second. Where are we at? If you guys keep calling, it's only going to take longer. Okay, so, okay. Shoot.
So how is it? You just put them on speaker?
No,
They're tapped into.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, right here. No personal permissions allowed. Okay, let's see.
Who's laughing?
Okay, phone. Okay, let's see now. I think I might have gotten it. So, give me a call, somebody. The Bluetooth again?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to try the Bluetooth again, but I think I might have gotten it. Okay, cool. We're on. Let's see. No, it's still doing the same thing, bro. My apologies, guys, but it's not allowing me. It's not allowing me to talk to you for some reason, so.
You used to call me on my cricket. Late night when you want me to kick it.
All right, guys. Well, listen, I apologize. We're not going to be able to get to the phone calls for some reason, but I'll have this fixed for you guys next time. And let me look once again. Call settings. People keep calling, and my apologies, but I don't know how to fix this today. So, hey, sorry about that, guys. So let me just go ahead and turn it off. We're going to continue our conversation. We apologize. Again, we had technical difficulties today because we had to upgrade our program. So maybe that's why I think it might be conflicting with the phone calls. So, other than that, Misfit, before we take off.
You want to try one more time? Try one more thing.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. And for all those fireworks out there, it's like we're living in the Middle East out here. Okay, so let's see. Okay. No, it's not doing it. Same thing, Alex. Yeah. So, look, before this gets annoying, my apologies. We're just going to go ahead and stop, but we're going to go ahead and continue with this. And let me see. Okay, we got a couple of more minutes. So my apologies. You can take off the headphones now. We're just not going to take the phone calls because for some reason, maybe it's the update that we did to our program. So we like to apologize for that. I like to get everybody involved. I like for people to call, but we will have it fixed for next time. So once again, my apologies for those of you that have known that we had technical difficulty. We started about 40 minutes late, so obviously we're still having them here. So we'll try to get the bugs out after the show so that you can make your phone calls soon for our next program. But Armando, we were talking about music. We talked about hauntings. We talked about many different topics. We have a few minutes left. Anything that you would like to bring up or talk about, or maybe you have another story or something you want to share?
Yeah. I mean, all the stories I said, you know, they were kind of like, you know, they happen and they're just, you know, what, like, kind of, you still kind of doubt it here and there, like, well, maybe was I tripping, or was I just coming down, or was I high at the time, or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, but for those that don't know, like, my father passed away January 10th at 4 a.m. And it was like this at this moment, like, this is when I knew, like, okay, he passed away. And the next day, 4 a.m., 24 hours later, it's me, my cousin. My cousin had come down to visit because, you know, she was close to my dad. Just me, my cousin, my mom, and we're in the living room. My mom, you know, went to bed. You know, we ended up sleeping on the couch. And it's so crazy because I could hear talking, right? I could hear a voice, a man's voice. And I heard my mom had left her door open. And I could hear my mom talking, but I couldn't make out the words. But she was talking, and I hear this voice, like a guy's voice, talking, and I go, and I'm thinking it's her TV. So I get up and I look in her bedroom, like, oh, cool, and it's like her TV's off, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm tripping, you know, I'm hella tripping, whatever. So I go back down. I'm sitting down on the couch, and I just end up knocking out. But throughout the whole time, I'm hearing. I can't make out the words of it. I just hear. At the time, I was just like, oh, it sounds like my dad, you know. And my mom, I don't know why she's talking. Like, it's like I'm tripping. It's just maybe just something I'm tripping on. And so the next day, my cousin was like, "Hey, fool, like, I don't want to sound crazy or nothing, but I was kind of scared last night." I was like, "Why? What the fuck?" She's like, "I heard a man's voice."
Really?
I heard your mom talking as well, like responding. So I told my mom, and my mom said that she.
Just take your time.
She said that she was dreaming of my dad laying down next to her, you know. It sucks because I never got to see him in the hospital or nothing like that, you know.
Right.
Whole COVID bullshit. You know, let us nowhere near him. So, but yeah, it's 40 years between her and my dad, you know. So that's when I knew, like, shit was real, like,
Yeah.
connections with people that you make, and
Yeah.
love is an energy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, within
Absolutely.
itself, you know, it's just one of the strongest things in the world, I think.
You know, a lot of times, I'm going to share something with you guys. I'm going to share with you who showed me the true definition of love. And a lot of times we think because we live in our neighborhood, we have homies that are connected and all this stuff. But the ones that will truly, truly have your back will be your mother and your father. Okay? And my mom proved that to me over and over and over again. My father proved that to me over and over again. So, those are the ones that will truly, truly have your back. Many times, us, when we grew up as kids, we look towards the streets and we think, oh, these are my homies. I'll die for my neighborhood. You know what? They got my back. But the ones that truly, truly have your back and will even go down swinging and even give their life for you would be, you know, those that love you, that truly, truly love you.
And and you know, it's crazy. Like I thought, you know, when I just thought the shit would go on forever, you know. But it's like if for like the first 3 days after my dad passed away, things were happening. Just for like the first 3 days, boom, that the next day too, and then for 2 days after that, just shit was happening that was not normal. Like at nighttime, at 4 a.m, I used to take my dad to dialysis at 4 a.m, you know, and I was used to him being in his wheelchair at 4 a.m, making his tea and stuff like that, and about to take him to dialysis, you know.
Yeah.
And, so every night, fuck, it's crazy. At 4 a.m, when he would get up to go to dialysis, I would hear fucking mariachi music, bro. Mariachi, coming from outside, like down the street. Like I could hear fucking mariachi, and I'm just like, what the, for 2 days in a row, back to back. I'm like, what the fuck? And you could just hear a fucking mariachi music singing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what is this? Like, why, you know? And so I think like a week later, I'm just going through my computer trying to get pictures of my dad and shit like that, and I got a clip of him. He used to sing karaoke in the living room.
Yeah, you know.
He used to, you know, and I got a clip of him. I posted it on my Instagram of him singing, you know, and that's what I was hearing for like 2 days, but then it stopped. So I'm just like, man, maybe they, you know, they're here, and just the energy here, and then, you know, they just go, you know.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I think, you know, he's you know, the energy is where it's supposed to, the soul, spirit's where it's supposed to go, because it's not here. It's not here, you know, haunting the house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like I just think, you know, he's at peace.
Well, good.
So,
good, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for sharing this with the fans.
Yeah.
You know,
make sure you guys, man, people could be here today, gone tomorrow. That's for sure. You know.
That's for sure.
Don't be an asshole. Don't be a dick. You know, treat people with love, because, you know, they might not be here. You might not be able to fucking get a chance to say sorry. You know?
Right. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead, because these guys keep lighting fireworks and these car alarms keep going off. So if you guys hear that, we apologize. But
Chirac.
Anything you want to say before we leave? Any shout outs or anything?
Man, just if I can say anything, it's just treat people with love, man. Treat people with love. You'll get, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll get further in life, and you'll get a better feeling, you know, every day. Just, you get more out of life if you love, because hate is just, it consumes you.
And the sad thing is, man, that there are so many people out there, man, full of hate.
Yeah.
Full of hate. I want to end with this last quote, okay? And I share this quite often, that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Meaning that what's in your heart, it's going to come out. Mm-hmm. If good is in your heart, it's going to come out of your mouth. If bad is in your heart, it's going to come out. So what I always tell people, when you're around a group of people, just listen, honestly. And people, sad to say, will expose themselves, because what comes out of their mouth tells you exactly who they are. Yeah. Be careful. This is just me. Of people that love to go online just to spew hate on another person. Yeah. They are showing you what is in their heart.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I mean, yeah, for sure. Sometimes, you know, I guess maybe sometimes could be a lot of, you know, I mean, that's for people that are hateful and wicked, you know, but I mean, sometimes it's, you know, there's a lot of hurt behind somebody, you know, that speaks that type of shit, but some people are just pure fucking evil as well.
And those are the ones that I'm referring to. Yeah, they'll eventually let you know. Just let them speak, and they'll show you what's in their heart. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone that tuned in, everybody who liked, everybody who commented, everybody who's on the live chat, everybody who subscribed. I hope you guys enjoyed this Freaky Tales podcast on this Freaky Friday with my guest, MISFIT SOTO. Also, my boy Alex Cervantes Enterprise. He has 3 names, so I always got to name him. He's the Trinity by himself. And also, I want to give a shout out to my son, B. Scalens, for helping me promote this. Anthony, the Hip Hop Jedi. And we'll be back not next Friday, but the following Friday with another special guest. Hopefully, the guest that had canceled from last week would be here. We had to reschedule this person, so we'll be back next Friday. Not this Friday, coming up next Friday. You guys will get the updates if you guys choose to follow me, our Freaky Tales podcast, on Instagram, or you guys can subscribe to Freaky Tales podcast on YouTube. So other than that, thank you, Misfit. I appreciate you being here. And maybe we'll bring you back so we can take our phone calls, because this thing, I think our update kind of messed things up.
Don't fall for the fake alien invasions.
Yeah.
Don't fall for the Antichrist. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Well, that's a whole different other subject right there.
Project Bluebeam.
Yes, look it up.
TikTok that shit.
Yeah. Everybody have a blessed night and expect the unexpected, and we're out of here.